Question number 11, David Clendon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Corrections and asked, does she agree with the United Kingdom Ministry of Justice report that states, I quote, "There is no evidence that on average prison is more cost effective at preventing reoffending than community sentences"?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr. Speaker, I'm advised that I would note that the quote in the primary question refers only to the UK justice system and comes from their National Audit Office, and I'm not prepared to make a judgment on the effectiveness or otherwise of the prison system in the UK. I am advised that there is no strong New Zealand evidence either way regarding the cost effectiveness of prison over community sentences with regard to reoffending. But one thing I do know for certain is that people in prison cannot reoffend against members of the public while they are in prison, and over 70% of the people in our prisons are therefore violent, sexual or drug offences. These people are dangerous, and our priority is to keep communities safe.
Supplementary.
David Clendon.
Does the Minister agree that more spending on drug and alcohol treatment, mental health services, rehabilitation and reintegration programs and less on incarceration would deliver better social and economic outcomes for New Zealand? And if not, why not?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr. Speaker, I repeat, this government is firstly committed to keeping the public safe from dangerous offenders. However, we are also committed to reducing offending, and we're working on a range of ways that we can do that, but there is no one silver bullet to reduce reoffending.
David Clendon.
On what basis did the Minister decide to spend $900 million on a new prison in South Auckland while spending only a fraction of that amount, a few $1 million a year, on rehabilitation and reintegration services?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr. Speaker, I presume the member is referring to the new prison to be built at Wiri. We do need a new prison in Auckland to cater for the population growth in Auckland. We currently house about 1,000 prisoners outside of Auckland and other parts of the country. We do need to upgrade the prison network itself so that we can, rehabilitation is easier, because the actual physical construction of and design of prisons aids with rehabilitation. We also need to make sure that we have adequate beds in case of another disaster like Christchurch and where we had to move prisoners out. And we also need to make sure that we forecast figures are just that, and currently we are tracking above the forecast figures.
David Clendon.
Can the Minister tell us how the building of a $900 million, 960-bed prison will help reduce the rate of Māori incarceration, currently accounting for 51% of the prison population, making Māori in New Zealand more likely to be incarcerated than African Americans in the United States?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr. Speaker, the actual building of Wiri itself, as I said, there's no silver bullet to address bringing down the rates of reoffending, but there is a huge range of work underway at the moment to improve Māori offending rates, like the drivers of crime work that this government has been working on for the past 3 years. There are currently 5 Māori focus units. There are 2 whare oranga aki in prisons, and the private contract for Wiri does include a particular focus on reducing reoffending for Māori.
Point of order, David Clendon.
Speaker, I seek leave to table a document, a report from the National Audit Office in UK to the House of Commons Justice Committee, dated February 2012, and entitled Comparing International Criminal Justice Systems.
Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is no objection. Supplementary question, Charles Chauvel.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Has the Minister seen the commentary from the group Rethinking Crime and Punishment on the report referred to in the primary question, indicating how if she were to reach an imprisonment level of 150 per 100,000 people, she could save $200 million a year in the corrections budget? And if so, what is her view of that group's recommendations?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr Speaker, I haven't seen that group's recommendations. However, as I stated previously, firstly, this government is determined to ensure that those dangerous people are locked up and the community is kept safe, but we are also committed to reducing the reoffending rate, and that's why the contract to build the new Wiri prison has a huge focus on the performance of that prison to reduce reoffending.
Point of order.
Yes.
Is it Charles Chauvel?
Mr Speaker, I seek leave to table a summary of the recommendations of the group Rethinking Crime and Punishment on the Audit Office report referred to in the primary question.
Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is no objection. Question number 12, Claire Curran.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister.